Hey guys, welcome back to Making Moves. I am here with two official male models, Joe and Josh. Thanks for coming on.
Be here. Thank you for having us.
I'm like so excited because Josh, I have to say you're one of my dream guests.
No, stop.
Dead ass.
Okay, say more.
No, I'm serious. I do have to start off with like, Josh, I just finished reading the book. The entire book.
Read or audio?
Audio.
Okay.
Right. Yes, fair. I know it is a big difference.
It's reading adjacent.
Yes, exactly. It does the same job. And what I will say is, first of all, it's way better than I thought it was going to be. It's so much more like deeper and like darker. I thought it was just going to be more like light and I'm sure everyone's told you this.
Yes.
Okay, but it's so good. Everyone needs to go buy it. Happy People Are Annoying. Everyone go get it right now. Where can they get it? Amazon?
Yeah, all booksellers, wherever books are sold.
Diesel, Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Borders.
What are the places, though, that help with the, like...
It's too late. We didn't make the list. We are way past that.
Damn it!
I know. Do you know how upsetting it is? And I'm like, every frickin' YouTuber. They're all over that list. We got a real bona fide celebrity here.
That's crazy.
New York Times not calling me.
I thought you would have it easy.
My home newspaper.
Your home
There's
your local newspaper.
I tell you, it's like if you weren't in the New Jersey Gazette bestsellers list.
I'm in Asbury Park Times every week.
There's a bunch of ways that my agents have sort of spun this as like, this is why, and you got caught in this whole thing, and that could be true. Or I could just be a big L loser. So I'm not sure. But nevertheless, thank you. And
no, it's so good. Still go get it.
People who have responded to the book in that way. I just didn't want to write. I certainly didn't want to write a memoir at 35 because it's like the most millennial thing one could do. And but I love like self-help books and kind of people sharing their story and getting some perspective and feeling like I'm not alone. There's other people feeling bad about themselves. That's what I wanted it to be.
But you go way deeper than the like average self-help book, I feel.
Well, yeah, because most self-help books are written by Deepak Chopra, and like it's literally people who have like made it, and like they're such beautiful yogi Zen masters, and you're like, can you really understand why I cut someone off in traffic and then made it their fault? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like I just flipped out on a McDonald's employee today because they gave me like the wrong fries. Like, but so yeah, I wanted to be like, here's me, someone who you might have grown up with, who you would think perhaps had a certain existence. And while that is true, I've been incredibly lucky. I also was totally overcome by insecurity and going through body issues and addiction and the whole thing throughout the process. Yeah.
And Joe got a special shout out in the book.
My God.
A few.
Page 136, 137, and 139.
Stop.
You have that on your resume, mentioned in Josh Peck's book.
Right at the top of
These
it.
pages.
Are those the pages?
I think so. Do you know how many people I showed?
No, stop.
Everybody.
I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah, it's like I do YouTube and I'm in Josh Peck's book.
What was crazy is listening to the book. Like, I was literally finishing it this morning, and then I went to the podcast to listen to Male Models, and I was like, whoa, it's the same guy.
Josh's personality
Do you know what I mean?
shines in it. That's what I love.
Yeah.
His book is so fun to listen to.
It is, and you, like, I feel like you're animated. I didn't think you would read the whole thing.
Wow, I'm good at reading.
I was
Because I'm a child actor, you thought I couldn't read.
I read scripts.
I read scripts. I was just like, oh, he'll have someone read it, and I was like, oh my God, it's Josh. And like I thought you were gonna read the first chapter, maybe.
Does that happen where people will read the first chapter and then like hand it off to a professional?
So.
Who would do that?
I'm acting like I'm an avid reader. I don't listen to that many books, but I've heard that's a thing.
What other books have you recently listened to?
Well, I just started The 7 Husbands of Evelyn, that one that every white girl's listening to or reading right now.
Is that fiction? Like, is it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone's obsessed with the Colleen Hoover books too that I want to read. Alicia just finished one, was crying at the end. So I was like, maybe I should tap into that.
And are these like elevated Nicholas Sparks? Like,
I think so. Like, I think there's like deep romantic type books. I mean, I have yet to finish one, so I don't really know. But
Is that ruining us, these sort of perfect views of romance and storybook love affairs, when in reality, you might not end up with a guy who builds you a house in South Carolina. You might end up with an accountant who has an eating disorder. I don't know. Like,
Is that ruining us, or is porn ruining us, or is both? Or both?
Joe? Joe, start with the porn part, the part
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was just like opposite. Isn't that like an interesting question?
Yeah, you definitely rallied it back to us.
I was like, is it the romance novels or is it Pornhub or OnlyFans?
I don't know. I'm not subscribed to either, so.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's an Ilya question.
Yeah. Wrong person.
Wrong podcast.
You don't consume pornography?
No.
Stop it.
I don't.
Stop.
I took a break.
Since when? This podcast.
Since I stepped in this room.
Since 5 minutes ago.
Historically
The
speaking.
first 30 years of your life.
yeah.
I don't think it's ruining it. If anything, it enhances. It's like, it helps you get a creative spark to think of new ideas.
Oh, it does. Okay, but I feel like doesn't it stunt your imagination? I'm just being devil's advocate here.
How versed are you in porn?
Honestly, not really at all.
Okay.
We're
Like
veterans.
I'm not an avid porn watcher at all.
Do you think there's a double standard? Like, would a girl who is into watching porn, would she be more reticent about admitting it?
Yeah, I think compared to guys, I think it's more like there is a double standard there for sure. But I also don't judge. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I would be like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to date a guy that like watches porn. Now I don't care at all because I think everyone does it.
I certainly have friends who have gone down the wormhole of porn where they consume so much of it and it got so extreme that it like desensitized them to their partner or whomever. For me, I feel like it's an asset. Like, I feel like I wanted to tell my wife, like, no, like, I'm doing you a favor. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I would agree. I feel like you could learn some things maybe from it.
no, not
No?
that.
Not
chicken.
no.
What?
Like, I could be bothering you way more.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, copy. I understand.
I'm like, I know you're tired.
Yeah,
You know?
I know you want to sleep right now.
We're 5 years married next
Okay.
week.
No, it makes
you?
sense.
Yeah.
Wow, do you have an anniversary gift?
No.
What's the 5-year mark? What do you get?
What is it?
Like a diamond?
We have Google?
Another diamond?
Vacation.
I don't know, but what's like because it's like paper and then plastic and then, no, isn't it? Because, you know, like there are, and like the 10th year is brass or platinum. You know, like, have you heard of this?
No.
I do, but from like cartoons.
There's like markers. So like I've heard like the first year is paper, the 5th year is silver, then 10 is gold,
Okay.
20 is platinum, 30 is diamond. I don't know.
I'm showing my singleness here.
Well, no, maybe just your. Let's talk about your singleness.
My singleness. Well,
Are you going on dates in LA?
not right now, no.
Why?
I just honestly, I'm sick and tired. I hate the apps. And like I feel like that's one of the main ways girls find success with dating in LA.
You have the apps on your phone now?
Yeah. I like dilly-dally. Like I like to, when I'm in the mood, I like to go through and like or swipe, but I don't like to talk. Like I don't like to text.
Who's the most famous person you matched with on Raya?
I don't want to say.
Oh, spill the beans.
But athletes. I love
yeah?
athletes. You guys know I love
Baseball,
athletes.
basketball, football, soccer?
Basketball.
Yeah.
I have matched with like some, I guess like musician, entertainment people, but like I don't care about that. I care
John
more
Mayer,
about athletes.
Jack Johnson.
I know someone that's matched with John Mayer.
Ooh.
I know. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's fun when you're like, whoa, I literally know them. I just saw someone from Jersey Shore. I was like, that's crazy. Like Jersey Shore. But like I just would never date. I couldn't see myself
know
a
I
Jersey
date
Shore
situation?
guy.
The Sitch is happily married. So who's it going to be? Paulie's in a monogamous relationship or he's in a public relationship. So let's break it down.
don't
It
know
was
if I-
Ronnie or Vinny. Ronnie or Vinny?
Oh, Josh is an avid Jersey Shore fan.
Biggest.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my gosh, maybe if I match, I'll let you know.
I hosted on MTV like a Jersey Shore after show.
Did you?
Yeah, baby.
Really?
Oh, I've been around. With Ronnie, Snooki, and Vinny. Ronnie was the only one who talked to me.
Shut up.
Am I spilling tea?
You are. This is going viral right now as we speak. TikTok, pick it up.
TK, you're welcome.
Cancel Jersey Shore.
No, not that they were completely lovely. They were just pretty self-contained, Snooki and Vinny. And Ronnie was the one who was like, we were broing down hard.
Oh, really?
He was laughing at my jokes. And, anyone who laughs at my jokes.
Do you think he was a fan of yours?
I mean, who could blame him?
Yeah. I mean,
if he had a childhood. But it's also misleading because a lot of them are in their early 40s. So they might have missed.
yeah, iconic show. Did you see that, or did you hear that they are apparently trying to make a new Jersey Shore, but with new people, and like everyone's freaking out? Like, no, you can't change it. What are your thoughts on that?
You have to change it. They've grown up.
Yeah,
I mean,
change the name.
I think it should. Like, did you hear that about Vanderpump Rules as well?
Oh no.
That originally it was going to be the older cast was going to be like Valley Rules because they all live in the Valley now.
Oh.
Like they have kids, they're married, and it's ridiculous that they still work at this restaurant in West Hollywood.
I know, it's like they're not working there.
Yeah. And then Vanderpump Rules was going to become its own sort of like the original show.
Copy.
I think we should do that.
Okay.
And then eventually when they get old enough, like retirement home at the Jersey Shore or Boca, So, could you
Naples, Florida.
Them in South Florida? Where do you think you'll retire, TK?
Where do I think I'll retire? That's a great question. I don't know. I've never thought about that. What about you guys?
Hawaii, for sure.
Yeah, you're into the Hawaii vibe
Such a
right
good
now.
lifestyle,
Okay.
relaxing, take a
The
break.
fruit. I've never
1000%.
been to Hawaii.
Oh, it's so fun.
I know. I really want to go.
It's great.
What about you? Where do you think you're going to retire, or where would you like to?
I think I'm gonna be like every other old Jew, South Florida. Like, I'm just gonna thrive down there. I know it.
Both my grandparents are snowbirds there, so
Yeah, no, I get it.
they love it.
I think I'm gonna totally embrace. I just find myself at 35 like becoming just more Jewish, just more like my grandparents. Like
Just wait, more Jewish.
I eat a lot of sandwiches. I have a new appreciation for soup. I'm getting old, and I'm okay with it.
Well, speaking of the Jewish community, Locks Club is booming right now. That's like the new Raya, but it's like Jewish guys, and all the girls are talking about it. Have you heard about it?
I've heard it. It's just Jewish men.
No, I think it's supposed to be like a Jewish dating app, but like we're all joining it.
That's so.
I'm like,
funny.
I love a Jewish guy.
Yeah, we could be
They're
friends.
fun. Yeah.
Joe, thoughts?
Yeah, I love Jewish men. They're my favorite.
Yeah. Love Jewish men. Yeah.
Wow, Locks Club.
It's like the talk of the town right now. I feel like it's the new Raya. I'm giving them way too much free promo.
That's so funny. I could just imagine me and if I wasn't obviously married, me and all my Jewish friends, Avi, Lior, Moshe, guess what, bro? We're crushing it. We are so on trend.
Locks Club, baby. Well, it used to be, I used to hear of J-Swipe, but I feel like now it's Locks Club. It's like the Soho house of the Jewish dating apps.
Oh my
You know
God.
what I mean?
Were you ever on dating apps?
No, I met Paige and my wife and I have been together 11 years.
Amazing.
And we met before there were dating apps. I was 24, she was 20.
Oh, wow.
So, missed it.
Also, congrats on your new child.
I know.
Your wife's pregnant. You're
Thank you so much.
I agree.
That didn't sound too exciting.
It's so real. It's getting so real, guys.
How far along is she?
5 months. Yeah, it's real. It's coming.
And so, how old is Max?
3.5.
Okay, so that's great. Age gap for a sibling.
I think it's going to be great. I'm an only child. Nobody wants what I got. So I knew that it was imperative or an important thing for me to give him a playmate. And yeah, I mean, I'm so obsessed with this time. 4 and below is to me the most fun. And so to think that I'd only get to experience that once with Max was bumming me out. So I'm excited.
Oh, okay. You got it. How is Max doing?
Max is great. It'll be more, but it's going to be more real. My wife and I were with a couple the other day, and And the guy was like, you know what I say? 1 kid's a hobby, 2 kids is a family. And I'm like, shut up with your sayings. So, yeah, dude, it's going to get real. Someone else said to me, with that 2nd kid, there's nowhere to hide. I'm like, I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Are you hoping we're going to have a baby girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we
yeah,
just
that would
shut
be
it
awesome.
down.
Then you'd be done.
Yeah, man-to-man defense, 1 parent per child. Switch. And then
We don't need to be throwing a zone defense.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what do you have to put? Bill Maher had a great quote about people who have like 6, 7, 8 kids. Like, if they were cats, you'd be a hoarder.
Yeah. Exactly.
Who needs that many? How many siblings do you have?
I have 1 brother, and we're tight, and we're only 2 years apart. And I think it's great. I wish I had more, though, siblings.
Yeah.
Like, we're so close that I would love to have more siblings, but it's okay. I think Phil and I are great.
His name's Phil?
His name's Phil, yeah.
Great name. You have 1 sibling?
Yeah, she's giving birth today, actually.
Wait, shut up.
Yeah, I'm an uncle.
Wait, Joe, what?
Yep.
What are you doing here?
Yeah,
I don't know. I gotta go.
Are you going to go back home?
Yeah, because I'm the godfather. So,
Okay, when?
Probably like 2 or 3 weeks. I have to go back.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
Oh my gosh, does she know the gender?
Yes, it's a girl.
And does she have a name?
Yes.
Okay, it's a secret though?
Yes.
Do you know how many kids you would want one day?
I'm down for like a little football team, like 6.
Okay. 6 little Joes running around.
Yeah, and I want them all to be variations of Joe for sure.
Okay.
Like
yeah,
Joe,
Joe
Joe,
Jr., JoJo,
We already have JoJo.
Josephina.
Josephine,
Jolene.
Joanne,
Jolene.
Joeen. Yeah,
Jolene.
that's a good one. Wow.
Joker.
Joker.
The comedy guy.
Yeah. Or
He's like
gang
the
member.
dud. That's crazy. I also wanted to say huge congrats on your Athletic Greens sponsorship.
Thank you. Have you worked with AG?
Not yet. But you know what? Last time when you guys were on Pretty Basic, you were fighting for your life for an Athletic Greens sponsorship.
Oh, yeah,
and
we
now
were.
you have it.
Tell you what, we took a pay cut.
You know what? Dreams
Athletic
do
Greens
come
got a deal on us. Shout out Helix Mattress coming next week.
Yeah, no, literally. Okay, I will say, do you actually use it? Because I love Athletic Greens.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do. I love it.
It's great.
Yeah, you get a lot of energy from it.
Were you so excited when the deal came in?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
We manifested it for a while.
Dreams do come true.
Yeah.
It's hard being a duo because the number comes and you're like,
And then you realize you have to split it.
Oh, that's right.
that's upsetting. That part.
Yeah.
I hate that part.
I was going to say, did they require a prerequisite for you, the amount of hikes you had to do before you got the sponsorship, or what's the deal there?
They wanted to make sure me and Josh did 3 loops at Fryman.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did
A
it.
day.
A day. Josh does 3 loops at Fryman by himself anyway.
Wait, what? In
Isn't that nuts?
one time?
I don't like myself. I'm running for my thoughts.
He does it with no music. He's psycho.
He's like, I'm done writing the book. What do you think I have to do now?
Yeah, a lot of time. And Joe hates it because I'm Frankie friendly over here. I'm smiling at people. We're having
He's on a
stop and
mission.
chats.
The dude has so many friends on that hike. It's insane.
You have so many friends everywhere. I feel like you walk in, you're like, oh, my old buddy.
Yeah.
I thought I knew my dad better than anyone. One day we were chatting and I heard a story I've never heard before. That got me wondering, how many other stories don't I know? I mean, the stories are endless. When I was dancing by the pool and I didn't even realize it by myself when I was a child, or his crazy Vegas stories. It got me wondering, how many other stories don't I know? That's why I got my dad Storyworth. Storyworth is an online service that helps you and your dad or father figure connect through sharing stories and memories, and preserves them for years to come. Every week, Storyworth emails your dad a thought-provoking question of your choice from a vast pool of possible options. Each unique prompt asks questions you've never thought of, like what is one of your fondest childhood memories? Or have you ever feared for your life? I've really enjoyed reading my dad's answers to those questions. I've discovered stories and memories I never heard about and learned new things about stories I thought I really knew. I feel like because my dad and I have such different interests, Storyworth is an awesome thing for us to bond over and really connect because I understand how he was growing up. After 1 year, Storyworth compiles all of those questions and stories, including photos, into a beautiful keepsake book the whole family can share for generations. What I love about this book is that every time I go home, I can go through it and it just makes me have all the warm, fuzzy feelings on the inside. Give all of the fathers in your life a meaningful gift you can both cherish for years to come. Storyworth. Right now, for a limited time, you can save $10 on your first purchase when you go to storyworth.com/TK. That's storyworth.com/TK. STORYWORTH.com/TK to save $10 on your first purchase. Storyworth.com/TK.
My wife and I were just at a destination wedding, and so we were staying at this hotel for 5 days.
Where was it?
It was in Italy.
Oh my gosh, gorgeous.
And by the end, like, I'm walking by the bellhop's going like, "Hey, Frank, how's the baby?"
Yeah.
Frank doesn't speak English, but we had a nice sign language sort of setup going on. I'm like,
Exactly.
the baby.
I know. I feel like I'm so excited because my friend is having her wedding in Italy in like a year. And I'm like, one, so excited, but I'm like, I hope I get a +1 and I hope I have a guy to ask by then.
Okay, let's break that down.
Yeah. I know.
Okay, first of all, destination wedding, selfish or nah?
I think, or nah, because I selfishly want to go, have an excuse to travel and be like, I have to go. Sorry, like, I have to go. Like, I need an excuse to go places. I can't just, like, go somewhere and relax.
Right.
I have a hard time relaxing.
Yeah. Welcome. What about you? What do you think?
No, definitely not selfish. It's where the love wants to bloom.
Also, you don't have to go.
True. Certainly true. But obviously, like, and I just mean, especially if we're talking like 2 international flights, like, you need me to connect.
Oh, I know.
I'm connecting
And then
for you
do they
now.
do they expect a gift?
I think it's a lesser gift than if it was in town.
Did you give a gift at this one?
We're talking about it.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't done the gift
You
yet?
can give a gift within a year of the wedding.
Okay.
Yes, of course we're going to give a gift.
You're after paying your gift.
Yeah, and by the way, it couldn't have been a lovelier wedding, and it was all perfect. But I can imagine that, going to Italy or wherever it is, where's another hot wedding spot?
Cancun?
Russia. Not everyone can make the trek.
Mm-hmm. I know. I feel like I have always thought about, like, oh, would I do a destination wedding? I could see you doing a destination wedding.
I would love that.
I could see you eloping.
Yeah, Italy, Mexico.
100% you would.
Brazil.
I'm officiating.
Yeah.
Shut up.
He already said.
Would you invite me to your wedding, Joe?
Yeah, you want to come?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you dead ass?
Yeah.
I'm literally bullying you into inviting me to your wedding.
It's going to be far away, so anyone who wants to come is welcome.
Okay, I'll film.
Okay.
For you.
Oh my God, videographer.
Oh my
Who's
gosh.
sponsoring?
Athletic Greens.
Helix mattresses. Every guest gets one.
Yeah. When you go on these destination weddings, how much time do you get to spend for yourself to vacation? Or is it all about the couple?
No. Usually, I mean, this was one of the most beautiful, fabulous weddings I'd ever been to. So they really had events and thought about the guests, and it was so well planned. But inevitably, and especially my wife was in the wedding, so
Oh, wow.
half the time she's doing some rehearsal dinner, I'm at the pool.
You're
baby.
vibing.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Lazy River?
There was no lazy river. It's a little too nice for that.
No lazy river.
Now, okay, so let's say you find a guy in the next year that you're like, okay, I like you.
Okay.
Locks Club, assuming his name is Ben. And so you find Ben, but you're dating for a couple months. But I would imagine it's a scary prospect to take them on a destination wedding.
I know.
That's big.
I think this is a unrelatable issue that a lot of influencer girlies have when they're invited on these elaborate brand trips, and you're like, damn, I really want to bring my hinge date,
Right.
Because we're going to Bora Bora and we get a villa and I'm really vibing with Ben or whoever right now, but it's also like, should I waste this elaborate brand trip on Ben when I know I'm not going to see him in a year?
Right.
And now I have all these memories with Ben at Bora Bora, in Bora Bora. You know, should I have brought a bestie instead?
Or is that the move that, like, it's transactional? Like, I like you here and now, and you're fun. You have great stamina. I'm just saying, that's for me. That's me and Ben. Like,
Great stamina, yeah.
I'm like, you don't embarrass me. I don't think you're going to, hurt me in my sleep. Like, so let's just go and have fun with no expectation of the future. Just because it's fun to go on a trip with someone that you like.
I will say I have kind of done that where I've taken someone and everything was like fun, but I did get the little like, I felt like I got the ick a little on the trip, and I was like, oh.
Too much time together?
Yeah, I felt like, just to be blunt, like as a girl, I felt for the first time I got post-it clarity. Like I was like, ooh, like after, like, I don't know, I felt like he was like embarrassing me or like, he was doing normal things, but it just gave me the ick.
What did you say? Post clarity?
Post-it clarity.
PDC.
After you.
Yeah, haven't you heard of post-it clarity?
I never heard of it until now.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
PDC?
I've never had it with anyone.
Really?
I never had dick before.
No, okay, so you're
I know what
joking
you
with
mean.
me. Okay, yeah.
No, but I've never heard it.
Wait, really?
That's new. That's very Gen Z.
Okay,
Very.
okay, so
Yeah.
like that's like a thing that apparently like guys say.
Dude, TK comes up with like the most crazy words.
I feel like I'm always will teach Joe like 3 years later how to whoa.
She knows like every TikTok dance.
You have your finger on the pulse.
I do, but that's my job.
Are you watching Kardashians?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, are you?
Samesies. Of course.
Okay, yeah. Are you?
I'm not. I tried. I can't.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of the Italian weddings, what do you think of Kravis? Were you invested at all in the wedding?
I mean, I'm obviously always invested in Courtney. But I'm happy for them. It looked, what was it, Positano? What part of it?
Portofino, I think.
Portofino.
Yeah.
That's another place in Italy.
Yeah,
Not sure
I
if you
was
know. Why? They only do gorgeous events.
Well, it was very like gaudy, like Dolce and Gabbana, like old Italian, because Travis has that like rock star edge, like I don't want to say Tommy Lee, but like that vibe to him, and that's like I feel like so new to the Kardashian. I'm sure like your girlfriend talks to you about this all the time.
Yeah.
Are you invested in the wedding? Were you invested in the wedding?
No, because I don't think they didn't like go that deep
No,
into
but
it.
I felt like my TikTok For You page was like all about the wedding.
I just saw like the headlines of it. I didn't find any of like the behind the scenes of it, but
Isn't the new show great though?
I've never seen the old show.
Okay. I love the drones they used to film.
I can't
I heard it's drone heavy.
I can't get like too into it. The Kardashians.
What?
Because it's like, do I really care that much about this? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'd rather watch another show, but I'm down to watch it.
Have you guys watched the new Stranger Things?
No, is it good?
What? Have you watched it at all?
I watched the first season and loved it.
Okay.
And then I got it about 20 minutes into the second season. I said, that's enough.
No way.
Yeah.
I was
don't
gonna
like
ask you.
popular things.
No.
Okay. I was going to ask you, what are your thoughts on child actors now or stars versus like when you were one?
Let me take this one.
Yeah. Is it like, I guess like the same, I feel like Alicia would have the same answer in regards to, I'm like, what are your thoughts on TikTokers versus YouTubers when you were starting?
It's a totally different world because, and I use those, the Stranger Things kids as an example. Like, when that show aired on a Friday, by Monday, they had 10 million Instagram followers.
It's crazy.
Just to start. So now they have this like actual currency. Like they have like real value that they can actually bring with them to whatever their next gig is. When I was sort of on kids television and Nickelodeon, it was like once that ended, there was no clear runway and you had nothing to bring with you. Like you couldn't direct your audience because there was no social media and you were sort of at the mercy of the bigger machine.
Yeah.
And it was even like slightly, I feel like we were like right before Hannah Montana, or like where big companies were like, oh, let's also make them a pop star and all these things. So I just think today you have much more leverage, as well you should. And those kids are really talented. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that they're crushing it as hard as they are.
It's crazy how invested I feel like people are now in just their real life versus them as their characters.
Right.
And like for instance, Will in the show, who's Noah in like TikTok world. Haven't you collabed with him?
Yeah. Noah Schnapp?
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, you collabed with him. I was like, I know that I'm remembering it. It's crazy because I'm like, I follow him on like the internet, but in the show, I'm not as invested in him, but I care about him more in real life than the other actors.
Right.
It's weird.
I feel like that's all of these new shows now, though.
That is true.
Squid Games, Outer Banks,
Yeah.
Euphoria, all of these people just become stars like overnight, and they get these like massive campaigns.
Yeah, Euphoria is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like that show I was like mind blown by.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I loved it.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah. You know what? It's another one where I watched it and said, I immediately, my head triggered and I said, oh, I see why this is quality. I see why people like it. Like, I'm going to go watch Golden Girls reruns. I'm weird.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't stick with it, but I totally appreciated the quality of it. And Zendaya's just like
Unreal.
someone like that. It's like a Tom Brady, like where I just
Literally.
I can't get enough. Like I just can appreciate their greatness and just be like, dude, you are killing it. I remember I've told this story in the pod before, but so you remember that show Mr. Robot with Rami Malek?
Yes. You told this on Pretty Basic, I think.
Yeah, I might have.
You were supposed to get the role?
Well, I don't know about all that, but
Okay.
I was certainly close.
Okay.
He was always meant for it, but until Rami came around, it was looking good for old JP.
For old JP.
Shout out Rami. I'm very happy. But like, and all I remember is auditioning for it and then going to the screen test where you basically audition. It was just me and Rami against these or it was me, Rami, and two other guys. And I remember like auditioning, you go into this dark theater where there's like 15 people in suits watching you, and I'm like, here I am singing for my supper. Been doing this a while. I was like, please, I'm hungry. And I audition and I feel great about it, and the feedback, it couldn't be better. And usually in those scenarios, like when I did that show Grandfathered with Stamos, I walked to my car and got a call like 10 minutes later, because everyone who's in the decision-making process is there. And they'll go, he's the guy or he's not the guy. And so this took like 10 days. And every day, like I would hear, oh, it's down to 3 of you. It's down to you and Rami. And then eventually it went to Rami, as it always was meant to be, because he fucking crushed that show. He deserved it. But I remember, because, I'm sensitive. I was like, yeah, statistically, nice to get a pilot. Doesn't always go to series.
Yeah, exactly.
Show gets picked up. I'm seeing billboards.
Yeah.
I'm like, 1 season. Okay. Been there.
Yeah. Done
Shout
that.
out Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
I go, it's not like it's going to get nominated for an Emmy. Gets nominated for an Emmy. Wins.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, Emmy's nice. It's not an Academy Award. A couple years later, does Bohemian Rhapsody, wins an Oscar.
Unreal.
I literally, in that moment, I was like, you win. I was like, well done, sir. Like,
yeah.
And that's how I look at like Zendaya or all these people. I'm like, wow. Like, I all I can do is be totally impressed and happy for you, because you're crushing it so hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is definitely. Tom Brady is a great comparison. She's like the GOAT of, I feel like, acting.
Who's your Zendaya, or who's your? Is it Kelly Ripa? Is it like? Do you see
I know
yourself
you always
as a
say
host?
you're like, you remind me of Kelly Ripa. And I'm like, thank you. My Zendaya is Reese Witherspoon. I love her. Wow. I love that she's like in front of the camera, behind the camera. She's producing all these things. She has a family. I feel like she's across the board like well respected by the entertainment industry. And she also like, I feel like she has a great public and private life. I don't know. I just like look up. I've always really admired her. Not that I want to be an actor, but I just have admired the way she presents herself to the world, I guess.
Joseph, who's your Josh Peck?
I met him already. It's you.
Yeah, literally. Who's yours, Josh?
Okay, so my answer was always Pharrell. He has been my like hero.
He's a good one.
And it changed over the last 10 years. I mean, it's a bad comparison just because I'll never even get close, just because he lives in such a different universe.
No, I
than
actually
me.
think it's a great comparison.
But, okay, say more.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, like, I think that the way you guys are respected in your industry, I see as the same.
Joe, you?
Would you get nervous going to talk to him?
Yeah, I saw him once at the Paris airport, and I was like,
Shut up. Did he know who you were?
no. And he was also being escorted while my wife and I were in the peasants line. He's like being escorted through customs, and I'm like, Pharrell.
Wait, what'd you say?
Nothing. Oh, I'm not the one. Joe can attest.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Josh avoids any famous person like they're the plague.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I treat them like I have drugs in the car and there are a cop car next to me. I'm
Why?
like, just keep your eyes on the road and go the speed limit.
Do you think it's because you know how it is, like when people are like staring at you and it's weird?
I just don't want to bother them, and I also go. I remember that when I once asked Mary-Kate Olsen out on a date, and it was because we were making a movie together, and one of the crew people convinced me that like I had a chance, and I literally looked at this guy. I was like, "What do I have to offer Mary-Kate Olsen?" So yeah, I just feel like, what do I have to offer them? Nothing. So let them, just go on their merry way.
Okay, so Pharrell, but why Pharrell?
So it sort of changed over the last 10 years because I feel like he leveled up to insane superstardom. But initially I was like, he's the most respected. Everything he does, I think, is dope. Clothes, music, everything. And I was like, there's not a restaurant or a club that he can't get into.
So true.
He's quietly rich and he can walk down the street.
Yeah, the quietly rich thing is so key.
Yeah, there's a great Bill Murray joke or a line where he says, everyone wants to be rich and famous. Maybe you should just try rich first.
Yes.
And see if that doesn't solve like 90% of your problems.
Yeah, that's a great quote.
That's Joe. Joe wants to be rich and obscure. It's the name of his book.
Rich and obscure.
Right?
Yeah, Pharrell he embodies all that.
But now I feel like since Happy and he couldn't walk down the street anymore.
No.
But there was a time where he was just like the dope producer who quietly made $5 to $10 million a year and like everybody loved. Right?
Yeah.
And he's so lean. Body types too really attract me.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, he's really cute. No one knows what you're looking for in a doctor better than you. And no one's better at giving you the tools to find the perfect doctor than ZocDoc. The people who created ZocDoc found the major pain points in healthcare, all the things that weren't working, and said, enough! And they made booking a great doctor surprisingly pain-free. I don't know about you guys, but moving to a new city, I knew absolutely no one. No aunt, no godmother, no cousins, no social media friends, no one. So I had no one to give me recommendations, especially when I'm in need of finding a doctor. So ZocDoc is the perfect thing for you to use if you're moving to a new city or you need a recommendation that is perfect for your needs. ZocDoc has you covered. ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. Read up on local doctors, get verified patient reviews, and see what other real humans had to say about their visit. So when you walk into the doctor's office, you are set up to see someone in your network who just gets you. Go to ZocDoc.com, choose a time slot, and whether you want to see the doctor in person or do a video visit. And just like that, you're booked. Find the doctor that is right for you and book an appointment that works for your schedule. It is so convenient, you guys. ZocDoc is my go-to. In the chaotic world of healthcare, let ZocDoc be your trusted guide to find a quality doctor in a way that is surprisingly pain-free. With ZocDoc, you can get your ducks in a row. Go to ZocDoc.com/moves and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/moves. ZocDoc.com/moves.
So what's wrong with men, TK, especially in LA, especially in the dating scene?
Set me up with someone, guys. You know me. Come on, Josh.
Yeah, you want to date my brother-in-law?
You want me to date your brother-in-law?
I don't know why. I think you guys are two blondes.
You know what's so
and
funny?
Cute kids.
I will say it's hard to meet, like, I feel like I like a guy's guy. Like, I don't want the cloudy, like, I don't know. That's hard. That's hard. And then I also like someone who's taller than me, who's athletic.
You're not absurdly tall.
No.
So I don't. Is that hard to find a guy taller than you?
I feel like that's like kind of the least of my worries. I feel like it's more so like a normal, like down to earth person that like I can have a real conversation with. They're not just trying to date me because I have like Instagram followers and a good network around me.
And you find that
to be blunt,
that is kind of a regular thing you deal with in LA.
Yeah, I feel like that, and it's just hard for me to connect. Like I feel like, I mean, I'm such good friends with Joe because he's like just a normal dude. You know what I mean? That I'm like, oh my gosh, we can have a real conversation. He'll like tell me if something like, I don't know. I feel like everything's so foo-foo here, and people are like, oh my God, you're doing great. Like, and I don't know, something. It's just hard to find like real people that I like actually connect with, especially guys.
And you don't think you'd run into this issue outside of LA?
Great question. I feel like to some degree, but not as much. I struggle the most because when I say guys guy, like I like an athletic guy. I want him to care about sports. I like, not that I need someone that's not in this industry, but I like when he has his own thing going for him. Like, I don't know. I like us having different worlds and we can come back and talk about what we did for the day. And it's not the same thing.
It's interesting because like my buddy has this saying like, look for the note behind the note. And as it applies to like a script or creativity, it's like not everyone's able to articulate what they want, but they know when something's off.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I feel like I'm talking in circles right now.
Well, I think that, and by the way, you could be 100% right. I'm always looking for the note behind the note when someone articulates, because I have sister-in-laws and I see it with them.
Yeah.
They go through similar things. Like they'll give a list of like, these are the things that are important. And I'm like, yeah, but I wonder if they are. Like even my wife, right? Like here she was, you know, the daughter of a famous football player, like surrounded by athletes, you know, good looking, just cute white people from the beach. Like, and here comes this hot-blooded Jew, child actor.
And you just did it for her.
You know, who would have thought? But I had just what
That's
she
true.
wanted.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
I would be interested to see what a guy, like if and it totally could be. It could be an athletic 6'8" guy with an androgynous name, my brother-in-law Kelly. But
No. I totally understand what you
not.
mean. I will say I feel like I've never met anyone that's like, I've been like, whoa, I've been wowed by any dudes here.
And is that something you're looking for? Is that love at first sight, like that wow?
No, not necessarily. I just feel like I've never met anyone that I'm like, oh, I would love to see you again by myself. I don't know if I'm just like, I don't know. It's hard. I feel like it's also hard in our industry. Like, when do I have time to go on dates that like suck? Or like,
You have time.
I know. I need to try harder.
Well, I don't know if it's try harder, but you certainly don't put that pressure on yourself. You have time. Like,
Yeah.
I think, don't you find that kind of can become a trap too of like, if we're going to date, it's going to be like, this is going to be for keeps.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Like,
I also feel like I'm very alpha, like in my work in every like aspect. Like I pay my own bills. I
love
do all
that.
the things. I like book all the I make all the plans. I'm like such a boss in my world. I want someone to just be like, I'm taking you out, or like I have a plan for us, or whatever. I want someone to do that for me.
I'd be the wrong guy because I love a strong woman.
Oh really?
I'd be like, let me rub your feet and take the weight of the world off your shoulders, dear.
Okay.
But you're
I don't know. Maybe I feel like I sound crazy right now.
You're picking dinner. Joe, thoughts?
Yeah, Joe. What do you think? Joe needs to set me up with someone.
I don't have like a big pool of people that that would
know.
be good.
I know that's what everyone says.
I think you're in good shape.
Okay.
I think you're in
I'm
great
still
shape.
young. I'm 24.
Are you kidding? You
Yeah.
are. Oh my God! Why are we even talking like you don't have time?
I know.
Stop it.
I know. I have time.
That's like when people. I'm 35 with a kid and a kid on the way and a Joe. Okay. Like
That's true.
when people tell me they're like, I'm so busy. I'm like, doing what? Like
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're
you're
so
not
right.
that busy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you, but like.
No,
you know,
I agree.
Like this is the time to fail.
That's so true.
You put skin in the game and go like, I'm just gonna embarrass myself here, and this might suck.
I could definitely embarrass myself more, but I feel like out of my friend group, I embarrass myself the most.
Good for you. That takes guts.
I bring the boy drama to my friend group.
I love it. And I also think, remember, like every no will get you closer to a yes.
True.
Yeah.
Did you date a lot before you dated Paige?
I got around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it in dating apps weren't a thing, really?
No. I was meeting people. I was dating CVS pharmacy techs, girls
Love.
at yoga.
Okay. You're meeting people out and about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I went on dates. I was a man about town.
Mr. Hollywood.
Mr. Hollywood.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I dated older women. I dated. I was just like, let's see, maybe, and good stories.
Yeah, I feel like I love a good, if anything, I love a good story from the date. One time I had a guy tell me, we went on a date and everything was going well. And it was like, he was such a normal dude. I think he was like an engineer or like something like that, right? So we like go on this date, he like does all the things, pays for all my drinks. He's like hamming it up. I'm hamming it up. Like we're like, I was like, okay, I'll go on a second date. I wasn't that into it, but I was like, okay, this is cute, like whatever. And we end up talking about OnlyFans, like any like Gen Z couple does. We're like talking about it, and he was like, and then we kind of like go off into like influencer talk. And I'm like assuming he looked me up before because I don't know, that's what anyone normal does, like when you're on a dating app. And plus like my Instagram's attached. So I was like, okay, he definitely like knows what I do or like stalked me a little. And so we're talking about influencer world, yada yada, and he was like, yeah. He proceeds to go, it's crazy how much money influencers make, but they provide just no value to the world. He literally says this on our date. I like am 2 margaritas in. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And yeah, that was, at least it gave me a good story, but how funny.
What? And he's just like a stupid engineer? Like building
like,
bridges or whatever.
I was like, sorry, you're intimidated that influencers probably make more money than you.
Wow, that's rough. Any bad dating stories for you, Joe?
No, are you the one that dated Spider-Man?
No, that's Alicia on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
A guy who say more. Wait, what?
She went on a date, a Hinge guy, I think. She went on a date and they were talking and she was like, oh, like, when'd you move to LA, yada, yada. And he was like, oh, yeah. And then when I worked on Hollywood Boulevard, and she was like, what do you mean? And he was like, oh, I was Spider-Man for a couple of years on Hollywood Boulevard, like the, you know, when they like pay $1 and you get a photo with it. Yeah.
I mean, that at least it's a starring role.
A real superhero.
You want to be with Spider-Man. Like, you don't want to be like...
I mean, at least
Krueger?
he was like in Hollywood, you know?
You don't want to be like, I was the Blue Ranger.
Yeah. You don't want to be in Indianapolis doing that. You want to be in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's the show.
Exactly. Okay, Joe, so you recently just got a fish tank.
Oh, yeah, and it terrifies me.
Why did you get that? That's such a Joe thing, is it not?
I wanted more responsibility in my life. I saw Josh having a baby, and I wanted to try and steal his thunder, so I got a saltwater tank.
Okay, and why? Isn't it hard to take care of those?
It's not. Like, it is,
Isn't
but
it expensive? How much is it?
It's expensive. And also, why is saltwater like a... like, in the...
Dude,
there's
in
a
the fish
community.
world? Tell us more.
Okay, so first off, we walk into Mark's Tropical Aquarium, where the guy was the handler on Deuce Bigalow Male Gigolo. You ever see it?
No.
Great movie.
Okay.
He was the fish handler on there, but he basically, like, we went in for a beta fish and walked out with the saltwater tank because it's very rewarding to just, like, watch it because you have clownfish, you have a dory, you have little gobies. It's really cool. It's really fun.
I think it's gorgeous to watch, but I'm like, isn't that expensive and hard to take care of?
It's like more expensive than a freshwater, but it's not that hard to take care of.
How much is like a Nemo?
$25.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, $30.
But they die too, right? Like, you have to be very careful of their health.
You do have to be very. It's like a kid. I assume you have the same relationship with Max.
Totally.
You have to feed him once a day.
Sure.
Clean his tank.
And you can tell if they're sick, right? Because they start like swimming on their side. Their fins turn brown.
They're upside down.
Oh, they're in the toilet.
Yeah. But Pecco has a 7-day return policy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, it's very rewarding because it feels like you have something to come home to.
Okay. Do you have names for all of them?
Yes.
All the different variations of Joe?
Yes, Joby.
Have they infringed? Because you're Johnny Short Trip, right? You love a quick jaunt somewhere.
He does.
A 5-hour, getaway to one of your many real estate portfolio.
He loves
places.
an aesthetic Instagram reel of the hotel.
Yeah, 38 hours away. This kid can't get enough of me. 8 years later, he still loves me.
I know. He's obsessed.
So who takes care of the fish?
We're looking for someone, actually.
Me.
Would you do it? It's super easy. You just have to feed them once a day.
Perhaps.
Okay. Yeah. No, but overall, the fish community is on top of you. If you do something wrong, it keeps you on your toes. You really have to be on it.
You have to trigger warn the audience before you show your fish tank. Yeah.
For sure. But I recommend it. You should get into it.
Wow. This is exciting. What's your favorite one?
Nemo.
And is that its name?
Clownfish, yeah.
Yeah.
We named him Nemo.
Do you have a Dory as well?
Yes. She had a hard time
She no longer with us?
No, and it was actually very sad. But yeah, we weren't set up properly, unfortunately. It wasn't. We were told wrong information, but we're on it. We're figuring it out.
Audience.
Trigger warning, sorry. But yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry to bring the mood down.
That's a lot to think about.
Oh my God.
She get flushed?
Yeah.
How did you dispose
She
of
in
her
our sewage
carcass?
system now?
Burial.
A what?
Burial.
Where?
Where?
Outside.
Where? In one of the planters?
One of the grass.
And what the one patch of fake grass for dogs?
She's back in the earth.
Oh my gosh, I am dead. Have you guys seen the new Top Gun?
So good.
So good.
Josh, you have to see it.
No, I do. I'm just so intimidated by Miles Teller.
He looks so hot in it.
I have no doubt.
The beach scene. He's
Dude,
like,
six-pack, volleyball, Tom Cruise.
I saw him in the
my
commercial for it, and I was like, sometimes when I read a script and there's a shirtless scene, I could be loving it 70 pages in, and I'll see that shirtless scene and go, I don't love it that much.
really?
Yeah, I'll talk myself out of it. Ideally.
Okay. What are your thoughts on if you see a sex scene?
I've done a bunch.
Is it awkward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've done a bunch?
Yeah, I mean,
What movie? Oh! Hang on.
What? I keep the screen grabs in my phone.
Sorry. You did like a space movie? Mm-hmm. That was news to me.
What's this new atomic bomb movie you're doing or that's coming out?
It's called Oppenheimer. But
I'm excited for that.
I have a very small part, very, very small part.
I was going to say the cast is stacked.
It's sick.
Did you meet any of the other castmates while you're on set?
Yeah, a lot of them. Very famous people.
Were you so excited?
Yeah, it was cool. It especially on a set like that where it's like a huge sort of ensemble, and basically I feel like we're all just Christopher Nolan, the director. Like we're just fanboys for Christopher Nolan.
Totally.
So there was none of that air of because that's easy on a set of even the best movies when you have a Robert Downey Jr., a crazy iconic movie star, it's like the Secret Service with the production assistants on set. Robert's flying in, Robert's coming in, he's getting makeup, he's arriving, he's on set.
Ready.
This felt literally just the highest end neighborhood playhouse type vibe. So everyone was there, everyone was couldn't have been cooler. The dynamic was great, and everyone just wanted to serve this great story. Mm-hmm. And especially people of my ilk who are just filling out the painting. we would just look at each other oh my God, can you believe we're here? It's cool. I feel really lucky that I got the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Everyone is that has that Secret Service vibe, but isn't it weird? Or did you get the energy once you're on set, you're oh my gosh, they're so normal?
Yeah, it depends. I did a thing with Tom Cruise where he produced this movie that I did because we talked about Maverick, and I'll tell this story. So we were doing this movie. It's called Red Dawn, and it was a remake of the '80s movie. And so basically, Tom Cruise is producing it. His son is in it, and so I'm around him a good amount through table reads and notes, and I'm wow, he's so brilliant. And I'm I think Tom Cruise. I think he likes good old JP. TC and JP,
good old
we get along. So I remember a week before we start filming, I've been training with Navy SEAls, hanging out with Chris
Is this the one
Hemsworth.
with, is this the one with the Hemsworth?
I'm talking with an Australian accent.
Amazing.
I'm getting famous, you know? So I remember Tom Cruise was like, yo, we need some jokes. This is like a super intense, dramatic action movie. Like, we need some levity too.
Is this one you had to learn football?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue. I was just listening. to the book.
Yeah, exactly.
You were talking about it. Okay.
So I pitched this joke, and he lights up with this like movie star smile, cracks up. They put it in the script. And I'm like, I just made Tom Cruise laugh. I got to get out of here.
We're besties.
Yeah. I'm like, that's it. Leave on a high
Signed, sealed,
note.
delivered.
He does that. He makes a hilarious joke and exits.
Yeah. Irish exit.
Total.
That's what you got to do.
So I'm driving back to my hotel in Troy, Michigan. And I was like, I made Tom Cruise laugh. I deserve a treat. So I go to the Dairy Queen in Troy, Michigan. And as a former thick boy, I don't eat ice cream in front of people.
Okay.
So I retired in my vehicle, and I'm licking my ice cold treat, and I see this SUV whip into the parking lot, and I hear a on my window, and I turn, and I'm like, and I go to roll the window. It was automatic. And I'm like, hey, Tom Cruise. It was Tom Cruise.
Get out. Did he have his shades on?
Dude, Tom Cruise, big ice cream guy. He literally is standing there staring at me while I'm in like a Chevy Malibu. And he's like, what are you doing? Are you eating ice cream alone in your car? And I go, yeah, pretty much, Tom Cruise.
What was he doing? Same thing?
He's like, do you want to come inside and eat ice cream with me and my family? But at this point, you can't have 2 ice creams. Nuts. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like training with Navy SEALs. So I go, no, I'm going to pass. No, thank you. Now, granted, I'm on YouTube now, so it worked out. But to your point, I mean, like, couldn't have been cooler and more normal.
I love that.
Like, going to get Dairy Queen with his kids.
Yeah. I wonder, did people not recognize him in Michigan?
No, they totally did. And it was funny. He went, and I was in so much deep, dark shame that I just drove around not knowing where my hotel was because I was like in a blackout. He leaves the Dairy Queen. I go back in. Yeah, I've got like Jimmy's on my face.
Rainbow sprinkles.
And I walk in and I go, you guys see that's Tom Cruise? And they're like, yeah. I was like, of course, I asked this next. He tip you? And they go, $100. Tom Cruise tipped $100 at Dairy Queen. What a guy.
What a guy. Yeah. I what that like reminds me this is like a question I've always wanted to ask you. I feel like I'm not trying to like gas you up right now, but I'm going to. Like when you walk into a room, you treat everyone with the exact same kindness. Like I remember when I met you, to this day you were the nicest like celebrity person I've ever met in my entire life. I was a nobody, and you like treated me with the exact same kindness. You remembered my name. You followed me on Instagram. You were like, so the way you treated me, I was just like floored by. And I was so prepared for you to be an asshole, like because I dealt with so many assholes before. And I just wanted, like, how do you remain so nice to everyone? I know it's so stupid, but like, how do you? Why is that so important to you to treat everyone the same? And like, you just have the same energy and charisma, and you listen to people when they talk. And I'm like, why do you? Because even I'll catch myself sometimes. I'm like, why am I not listening right now? Like they're a normal person. Like I should be interested or whatever the case is. Like I don't know. I feel like that's a thing. If someone can't offer you something, people will zone out. And I'm like, you are always locked in. And I'm like, who, how, or who, what, where, when, why? Like how do you do that?
Yeah, thank you. Joe, what do you like about me? Well, no, I'm sorry.
Does it ever backfire on you where the people that you're really nice to get really close to you and start a podcast?
And remember the book pages you mentioned them in?
Sometimes you can't get rid of them. Yeah, sometimes people become too nice, or I will become too comfortable when I'm being too nice. But for the most part, like, it's the one thing about growing up overweight that I feel like was a major silver lining was I never got too impressed with myself because I always felt like I walked into situations at a disadvantage. Because there was no body positivity when I was heavy.
Yeah.
Like, people were just brutal. And so I felt like I had to be funny and and I also wanted to be the opposite of what I felt. A lot of what I was getting, the energy that I was getting from people. So it's a big pet peeve of mine when people are not kind or at least or just fake it. I know a lot of people who are famous who I've had interactions with where I know it's like, it's not genuine, but they've become so good at faking it. I'm like, who cares?
I agree. Like, I'd rather them fake it than be an asshole.
Totally, because
To me, personally.
I'm like, I don't need you to be. I have enough friends, so I know you're BSing me. But the person that you have 20 seconds with is going to walk away going like, wow, that guy who I love is great. It's more important about them. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just very... I've said this before, though. Like, you know, when you will have an interaction with someone, especially like, it runs the gamut from celebrities to famous athletes to especially people in social media. It's crazy because most of them got famous doing it all alone. They were nerds in their room making videos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out all our friends.
Yeah. Shout out all of us.
Shout out us.
Yeah.
And you know, you'll have interactions with someone and it'll be like awkward and you'll walk away. And you'll be like, God, what did I say? Why was it so odd? At 35 years old, TK, I've realized I'm a fun hang. If it was weird, it's you.
Yeah.
Like I want to have this. I like to play and joke. So like, if there was weirdness, it's probably because like the person I was with was like defective or just whack or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it took a long time to feel that way. And even still, sometimes I'll be like, was it me? But,
yeah.
You know?
But why do you, I'm just like, you don't have to care about like the intern on set or like the PA or whatever, and you do. And I'm like, why?
95% of the time, they're more interesting than the person making $1 million a year on set.
So true.
They're way more interesting. They're not jaded. They're basic humanity. From a professional standpoint, they're probably going to be my boss in 20 years.
100%.
Like, I've literally gotten to a point, I feel like this is very inside baseball, but I think people are interested. Like, I've been with my agent and manager for almost 20 years. This is very rare in our business, as you know.
So rare.
Because we can't fire ourselves. So sometimes when it's not going well, you go, maybe I just need to shake it up, you know? But I've been with them for 20 years and I love them. We have a great relationship. I, most of the time, will want to talk to their assistants more because I know they're busy and they have a bunch of things they have to do. And their assistants are so, like, hungry.
So hungry.
They want to have an opinion and, like, they've got their finger on the pulse. They want ownership of you. Like, I want to be part of, like, if Josh gets a great job and I know that I helped position him to get it, they feel
They're
so...
a sponge.
Yeah. So to me, like, and I'm like, and that person's going to run a studio in 20 years. So, like, you'd be crazy to be a jerk. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Joe and I so relate to this in a different way where we're always recommending other people to like help film for other people. And he like recently he was talking about like, oh, do you know any editors, blah, 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 blah. And I was trying to think of someone, but like I want to send the hungriest person I know to Joe, and he wants to send the hungriest person he knows because like we were those hungry sharks back in the day or like a couple years ago. And I was like, if I don't see someone who is as hungry as I was, because I know how I was and how like how valuable I was to Alicia Marie in that time, and because she invested in me, it made us flourish as like a team. But it's crazy. I think that's so true about like the assistants and the interns. Like they're so much more hungry and invested and like ready to learn sometimes. But it's just like it's easy to doze or like look past them sometimes. And you've always like been so in tune with like I guess the small person on set.
I mean, it's always. Even when I started doing social media, I mean, there was just a bigger divide in like 2013 when I started. And then when I was like in 2014 hanging out at 1600 Vine, like, you know, but it was like, I was like, why? Because we don't have trailers? Like, because there's no billboard? Like, we're entertaining people. Like, isn't that what we got into this for? And then even with YouTube, and I remember like doing my first sketch or doing, you know, the first vlogs, it was like, I was like, if you remove all the sort of pomp and circumstance, all this is entertaining people. We would pitch jokes. I'm like, this is very reminiscent of any good show that I was on, like beating each other with jokes, like who's got the funniest line, how can we make this great, edit it, put it out, move on. So to me, it was like, and it was great. I liked not having to sit around. Like you would shoot a whole day in an hour and then Joe and I could go eat in his car.
Exactly, film a mukbang. I feel like both of y'all are so open to and good with collaborating. And I don't know about like on the guy side of things, but with girls, sometimes people are catty or they're like, I have more followers. Like, no, like, I don't know. Have you ever, like, I guess, what's your outlook on collaborating and like why it can be like a positive thing other than like, you're using me type energy? Because I feel like a lot of people, even me, like I'm like scared to ask people to like be in my videos or whatever because I don't want them to get the wrong impression. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like we're peers and we live so close. Like I should be able to ask someone to be in my video. You guys always, I feel like, have been so open with your friend group about like, oh, being in each other's videos and whatnot. Like, how do you approach collabing when you're like, I guess, afraid of someone being rude? Like, have you ever dealt with anyone being rude about collabing? You asking?
No, more in like the aftermath after this stuff went, after you filmed it.
Oh, really?
Joe has I feel like you always ask. Like you won't pester.
I won't
but
pester.
You'll shoot your shot.
Right, because
but
worst
so
case
do you
scenario,
sometimes.
they say no.
Like you'll hit up Alicia and she'll be like, oh my God, I'm so glad he asked me because I would be afraid to ask him. Which is crazy because I'm like, just ask him, you're Alicia Marie. Do you know what I mean? And like you wouldn't care. But like for years I was like, oh my gosh, I want Josh on my podcast, but like I can't ask him until I'm like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm like, how do you build up the courage to like ask people or what? Or have you ever like been shot down by someone or no because you're Josh Peck?
Yeah, constantly. We've wanted Joe Jonas on our podcast since Jump Street.
We're still trying.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think you just we hit up Josh Richards the other day.
I almost want to be denied because it just gives me more motivation to make it bigger so that they have no choice but to say yes.
Ooh, okay, I like that outlook.
I think that's what it is. Even like the first time I shot with Josh, I was like, whoa, Josh is gonna be in my video? And then the relationship elevated and like he came to my apartment in like Studio City.
And you're like, whoa, we're friends.
Yeah, like, hey, I have this Robin Hood costume. Do you want to wear it? He's like, okay. I'm like, whoa.
I took you out for Gus's Fried Chicken in Burbank the first time we hung out.
I'll never forget.
Cute.
It was a nice
Romantic.
time.
Yeah, because we did the videos and then he's like, do you want to go get lunch? I'm like, okay. I didn't see that coming. But
I love it.
What you were saying before about Josh asking everyone's opinion, I think that's what attributes to his success, that he's willing to listen to everybody. Yeah.
Guys,
This is a Josh.
stop
Josh-
it.
Josh
I can
Peck
just see the comments now. They're like, they know it's Josh Peck, right? But I think it's also, it's really, really hard to not get. I remember when I was in the thick of YouTube and Joe can attest, I was constantly like, I can't believe I'm getting rejected by this 19-year-old like TikToker. Not there was no TikTok then, but just like.
Oh, in regards to collabing?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how that sounded.
No.
Yeah. Like, I would totally be embarrassed at times being like, oh, I hit up this person with...
And they're like, no, we don't.
Or they just would like, flake or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, I can't believe I'm at the mercy of like these people who are not professional.
Yeah.
But I think it's about having... on my podcast before the one with Joe and I, which who even cares about it because Joe wasn't a part of it.
Obviously.
But I interviewed like Gary Vaynerchuk and Damon John and... Gary Vee, everyone knows Gary Vee, and Damon John from Shark Tank, Creative FUBU, and like serial entrepreneurs, like guys worth a lot of dough, a lot of success. And I asked them, how long do you mourn a failure? Like how long does it take you to
Great question.
shake it off? And like they literally both looked at me and like thought about it and said minutes. I'm like, wait.
I need to be... Yeah.
You don't go into like a depression hole like I do. Go to multiple like fast food restaurants and like Frankenstein your favorite meal with like fries from Wendy's and then a burger from In-N-Out and then a shake from Shake Shack. I don't know, whatever.
That's crazy.
I don't know what your thing is.
That's weird.
But that's like how like a venture capitalist firm or even Damon John talking about the things that he invests in on Shark Tank. He was like, I invest in 10 things, 9 of them fail. The one that works pays for the 10.
Wow.
So it's like, it's just got to be one of those things. You just shoot it and hope for the best.
Just move on.
And all the like the mega I'm sure you can attest, Joe, like being around like the brief time I was around like Logan Paul in the early Vine days or what, like they just go.
Yeah.
They don't mourn, they don't think about it. They just go on to like sort of their next what the next sort of opportunity is.
I mean, you also have to be some sort of like crazy in the sense like you don't care what people think, just even put up your first video. Which is like, I've been watching the Kanye documentary right now on Netflix. Have either of you seen it?
How cute are his retainers in that documentary?
Through the wire.
They are the star of the doc.
It's very relatable. Yeah. But I like this shit he would do. He would just like go up to the receptionist and like start like rapping it, like his like hits now, and she was like, what are you doing? Like he did not care.
Right.
And like I don't know, I was like watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to care less or whatever. And I don't know, I think every successful person does that. They're just like, all right, no, another failure, who cares, move on.
Yeah, there's this great Muhammad Ali quote where he says, I'm the greatest. I had to say I was the greatest even before I knew it was true.
Wow.
Yeah.
That reminds me of King Richard. Yeah, in the Williams sisters. So good.
Are you
Anyway.
more a Venus or a Serena person?
Serena.
Both. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm a Serena girly too. But Venus is like the star of that.
I've heard Serena every now and then, and this might just be a rumor, hikes Runyon Canyon, the most TikTok-friendly canyon in all of Los Angeles. Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh, I think I would faint.
Me too.
Yeah, just from the hike, but then sing Serena.
And then I'd see her and I'd faint again.
And then sing Serena, faint again. That's crazy.
I know. Like, what
She seems like a Fryman girly.
I feel like she would need like a private mountain.
Yeah, Malibu or something.
Yeah, something with like A-listers. Not like me on it. Like, hello from the C-list.
Exactly. Okay, my last question for both of y'all is, what are you doing to make moves right now? This is called making moves. Are you what personal moves, what business moves are you making right now to wrap it up?
Second channel, YouTube. Trying new methods, trying new videos. Whatever sticks, we keep doing.
Is this the one where you don't edit?
No, that's my third channel.
Cute.
More Joe.
Wait.
Yeah, new channel. It's a hit.
Oh my gosh, I gotta subscribe.
10 minutes, no cuts. Josh didn't want to be part of it. I had to can that episode, but...
And I absolutely will be taking credit for Joe's second channel.
1000%, she pushed me.
I was like, Joe, you're stupid. Upload on a second channel, vlog.
And then boom, I did it.
And you've just been vlogging.
I've been bothering
And
you
now
ever
you've been
since.
killing it.
Yeah. Mazel.
Thank you.
Just the Male Models podcast with Joe and I. That's my move.
And it's very, very funny and stinky over there.
Thank you. That's in the new episode this week. Follow us to find more.
Yes, exactly. Where can everyone follow you and everything?
Spotify, Male Models. Apple Podcasts, Male Models.
Male Models, Joe's house. He lives in the valley.
Playboy?
Yeah,
Male Models?
check us out at Playboy.
You know what? Let's just do OnlyFans.
No,
Why not?
Only feet. Okay, anyway, guys, go follow them. Go subscribe to Male Models. Are you guys on YouTube, Male Models?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, subscribe on Spotify, all the things.
That's our next move.
Yeah, that's their next move is YouTube. Anyway, and be sure to make someone's day this week. Peace.